There are a lot of theories about the Borg origin, but a lot of them don't make sense. But I promise you, if you stick around, this one will. Let's jump into it. All right, let's talk about the Borg. Let's talk about their origin. And there's been a lot of theories out there, and let's talk about some of the more well-known ones just for a second. An interesting one that I saw online was that the Deniven creatures from Operation Annihilate were the actual origin of the Borg, that they added cybernetic implants as user ability for themselves and then started assimilating other cultures. Another interesting one is The Return, where William Shatner writes that Captain Kirk created the Borg by accident. Interesting thing. And a one that you may not know, but I promise you've seen screenshots of, is Star Trek Legacy, discusses the origin of the Borg being V'ger and how the Borg Queen started. And I get it. A lot of sci-fi universes are always trying to intertwine different existing plot elements, especially fans are doing that. And a lot of the screenshots and videos you see about the origin of the Borg that look like a cartoon are actually from Star Trek Legacy, which didn't get a huge, it didn't get a huge release as a video game, wasn't really bought a lot. Not a lot of people got the game, but the video was used a lot in origin stories. But I want to go back to the origin of the Borg, and I'm going to theorize that the Borg, that was actually their name as a society, possibly. The reason I say that is when you think about it and you really think about today's society, like if we turned into the Borg, what would that transition be? Well, let's start with Ready Player One. With Ready Player One, there's this online universe that people can plug into and play video games together, and people feel more real and they can earn money. And so they're motivated to be in this online universe a lot. But from that online universe, what starts happening is it starts having some elements that you might compare to the Matrix. For instance, what if they added in something like an option where people could opt in to listen to each other's thoughts, right? It's something you have to opt in for, something that, maybe a package you have to purchase or something that you have to allow where you could hear other people's thoughts. That would be interesting, right? You'd be able to plug in and, you have a best friend or a girlfriend or something like that, or a boyfriend, and you plug in and you're like, hey, let's listen to each other's thoughts, right? Or you could even go into a group setting where you could hear each other's thoughts. And more than likely, that would be addictive. You're learning and caring and knowing at the same time as is portrayed by the Borg in Star Trek. But it also presents a really cool thing. Imagine for a second that you need to fix your car and you don't know how to do it. So, what you can do with your cybernetic implants from this online universe in this game, you can jack in, plug in, go into a forum where they fix cars, allow that group to enter your thoughts and give them control of your cybernetic implants. And they take control of your body and you fix the car. And then after maybe a set amount of time, or they release you, maybe there's some type of stopgap to prevent people from holding on to control, right? But you're able to give control to this online society so they can fix your car for you through your body. And then, of course, because it's Hollywood, this company needs to turn evil, right? So they start adding in addictive elements to this online universe. So the more that you hear people's thoughts, the more pleasurable it is. So now they start adding in addictive elements so that people become addicted to joining, jacking in, getting into the universe, playing games with others. And there's actually precedence for this inside of Star Trek. If you've ever seen the episode The Game from Star Trek The Next Generation, games can be programmed for you to become addicted to them, and then it can also change how you think, pushing back, suppressing your existing consciousness with something being overlaid on it. And that plays right into the Borg as well. That same element exists. We've seen that many times where the person is suppressed, and sometimes if they have a unique genetic trait, they end up in Unimatrix Zero. But when a Borg is released from the Borg, if they're separated from the Borg and that consciousness is removed, their original consciousness reemerges. So that exists already within Star Trek. Now, at this point, the Queen, probably not called the Queen yet, but the Queen would serve as a moderator. So let's go back to Unimatrix Zero and Star Trek Voyager for a second. In Unimatrix Zero, she looks at a cube and she says, I can't hear three voices on that cube, and she blows up the whole cube. Well, think about moderators in video games today. When someone is invisible to the moderators or something's not right, it means they're hacking the system. They're doing something that the system isn't supposed to do, so they kick out those players and ban them. The Borg Queen served that purpose originally. People that were not using the system in the way that they should would be kicked out, and that would eventually develop into her just eliminating cubes if she couldn't hear one voice. But let's go back to this pre completely cybernetic Borg society. Let's say the entire society, all of them from birth, they have some cybernetic implants. So now they can be part of their online universe, which is now part of their culture. And going back to the same things, if you need a certain skill, you can plug into this, allow the collective to take over your body for a short time, and you can complete a task. It could be everything as simple. Maybe people hate doing the dishes, so they plug into the collective hive mind so that somebody that wants to do the dishes can. Or maybe being part of that group allows them to. And that exists within Star Trek as well, where different drones are designated to do certain different jobs within the collective. But now that society gets attacked. And the military, probably also run by some type of evil AI because it's Hollywood, that AI, as a defense mechanism, activates everyone's implants and defends their society. And during this attack, the Borg Queen asserts herself and never relinquishes control. She's assimilated the collective has assimilated the entire planet, and their answer to this attack from an alien enemy is not to destroy them, but to assimilate their knowledge. And once they do that, the addiction takes over. Assimilation. So the idea of perfection becomes assimilated later on, and that becomes part of their society along with everything else. And they just become a completely cybernetic society, no longer with the typical societal elements of man and woman getting together, creating a new baby, where they procreate now, and they're motivated to procreate through assimilation to bring everyone closer to perfection. And that is my quick theory on the origin of the Borg. To me, this is the one that makes the most sense. And I hope you do too. If you like it, please follow, please subscribe. Just remember, if you don't, resistance is futile.